welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the new 2021 Subaru Legacy, courtesy of Apple Subaru in York, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so what did happen this one today? Of course, because there is snow all over the ground here in Pennsylvania, and of course the Legacy does have a standard all-wheel drive system across the board. Not only that, the very best all-wheel drive system in existence, according to Consumer Reports, and I'm sure many other publications as well. So it's got that going for it. Great price point, great starting price point, I will say that. Great resale value, also great reliability. So really, it's got quite a lot going for it. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So as you can imagine, there are several different trim levels for the 2021 Legacy. First one being the base trim, starting at $22,895, premium for $25,145, sport for $27,095, limited for $29,895, and then you have the limited XT for $34,445, and the touring XT, which is the one we have today, starting at $36,145. And so with all of these different trim levels, there are actually two different engine configurations belonging to the Legacy. First one being for the non-XT trim levels. This one is going to be a 2.5 liter direct injected horizontally opposed boxer engine, putting out 182 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 176 pound-feet of torque, available at 4,400 RPM. Power, of course, being sent to all four wheels through Subaru's legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and that power is sent to the ground through a CVT with paddle shifters, which we do have and we will test out in a little bit here. 0 to 60 time for this engine configuration comes in at approximately 8.1 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 27 in the city, 35 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. But so then there is the other engine configuration belonging to the XT trim levels, and the one we have today. This one is going to be powered by a 2.4 liter turbocharged boxer engine, putting out 260 horsepower, 5,600 RPM, 277 pound-feet of torque, available from the power band of 2,000 to 4,800 RPM. Power again sent to all four wheels through a CVT with paddle shifters. 0 to 60 time for this one, approximately 6.1 seconds, which you guys know we will test out a little bit here, but MPG numbers 24 in the city, 32 highway, but again, taking regular unleaded fuel. So you get to save yourself a little bit of money at the pump, even with this engine configuration, which is definitely a good thing. But having now said all of that, I keep mentioning we're gonna test stuff out. Let's go ahead and test out the paddle shifters here first. Just wanna see how quickly they're going to react for us. They are black plastic paddle shifters located behind the steering wheel here. To put it in full manual paddle shift mode here, what you wanna do is slide the shifter all the way to the back and to the left, and it is going to tell you what simulated gear, I should say, you were in up on the digital portion of the gauges as well. I say simulated because CVTs don't actually have gear, so I have to put it that way. But having said all that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway, and let's test out the paddle shifters here in our 2021 Subaru Legacy. All right, you guys, we're in first gear. Let's do our paddle shifter test here. Whoa. All right, they actually do react quickly. Again, it's simulated shift, so it's not really the real thing, but still kind of nice that the paddle shifters are there. And even if you don't use them for enjoyment, what you can use them for is when it starts to snow out, let's say in Pennsylvania like we have right now. What you can do is when you're going down a hill, you can use the paddle shifters to downshift rather than using the actual brakes. So you can do a little engine braking, so you're less likely to slide off the hill or something like that. So another good reason paddle shifters are there on cars. But anyways, now that we have tested out the paddle shifters, let's give full control back to the Legacy. Just slide the shifter back to the right there. And once again, let's find a straightaway and let's see how quickly the Legacy here is going to get us up to speed, right? And a little bit of rolling start. Here we go. Whoa! Gosh darn it. Yeah, buddy. Dang, this thing goes quick. Wow. You know, I've driven Legacies. I've reviewed Legacies in the past, but I don't think I've ever driven an XT Legacy before, but dang, you could feel it in the pit of your stomach. That was a heck of an acceleration. 100% not gonna have any issues merging onto the highway. That surprised me, 100%. Wow, this is a Legacy, that's crazy. Anyways, To go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 12.4-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.8-inch ventilated rear discs. As far as the 60 to 0 stopping distance goes, 127 feet, so definitely not the best for the segment. And even at that, I will say it's definitely a softer braking feel, so wouldn't have minded, at least with the XT configuration of the Legacy, if they would have bumped up the rotors maybe in size just to give it a little better stopping power. But having said that, it's not bad. It's just a little bit softer of a braking feel, that's all. So I just wanted to mention that. Touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, double wishbone type rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars. As far as the ride quality goes, it's pretty much as expected. It's not the very best, but it's not the worst either. It's pretty much on par for the course when it comes to ride quality. As far as steering feel goes, again, it's a little bit actually on the looser side, I will say. It's not the heaviest steering feel in the world, but then again, I guess you could just go with the WRX if you wanted a little bit heavier of a feel to the steering. But yeah, it's definitely on the looser side though. Cabin noise is perfectly fine actually. It just went over 50 miles per hour back there during our acceleration test. Not a whole lot of wind noise coming into the cabin, so that's definitely a plus for this one. And touching on visibility, I could see perfectly fine out the back. It really, with sedans like the Legacy, you aren't going to have any issues with visibility. So honestly, it is 100% on point. But that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of this brand new 2021 Subaru Legacy. All right, you guys, here she is, the new 2021 Subaru Legacy, finished in Abyss Blue Pearl. For anybody who was curious of the color name, and there's actually one change for the 2021 Legacy on the exterior. And let me get right into it. Let's go ahead and start up front. To the sides there, LED steering responsive headlights are now standard for every single trim level across the board. That is a huge safety feature. Essentially what that is when you're going around a bend at night, those headlights are going to swivel based on the direction of your steering angle, better help illuminating what is around that bend, so you're less likely to hit a deer or a possum or a squirrel or whatever. But definitely a huge safety feature there. And again, it is now standard across the board. That is the new update when it comes to the exterior, at least. Automatic feature, of course, coming with those headlights as well, meaning when it starts to get dark out, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. LED daytime running lights, also standard for all trim levels. LED fog lights down below, coming with the sport trim level and up. It is going to be optional on the premium, and that front fascia will remain the same regardless of trim level that you go with. So that's what you're looking at, of course, right now. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the side of the Legacy here. All right, now since we are around to the side of the Legacy here, kind of a nice side profile. I do like it. Chrome window surrounds are going to come standard for every single trim level. Then when it comes to the side mirrors, they are black folding side mirrors with the base, body colored folding side mirrors with the premium and limited trims. And by the way, that comes with LED integrated turn signals as well. Crystal black finish with the sport, and that of course going to be a sportier look, I suppose. And for the Touring XT that we have today, power folding side mirrors with a satin chrome finish. Very cool look to that one. I absolutely love it. It ties in very well with the chrome window surrounds on this one as well. And also, you guys can see those chrome accents on the door handles as well, since we have the Touring XT. But now, let's take a look down at the wheel setup here. 17 by 7 inch steel wheels with covers, aka hubcaps, coming with the base trim level. 17 by 7.5 inch aluminum alloys with the premium. 18 by 7.5 inch black aluminum alloys with the sport, and lastly 18 by 7.5 inch machine finished aluminum alloys for the limited trim level and up. So therefore you will get alloy wheels for every trim level but the base trim level. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the back of the Legacy here. And so now, since we are around back, of course you have that shark fin antenna up top. Just below that you will find some Touring XT badging, since we do have the Touring XT trim level here today. You are going to get a rear spoiler if you go with the sport trim level only. That's how you're going to go ahead and get that. And just below it all, that exhaust setup is going to differ slightly amongst the trim levels. For the non-XT trims, you will find a single exhaust outlet down there. However, with the XT trim levels, you will find dual exhaust outlets, dual stainless steel exhaust outlets with chrome tips. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around back of the Legacy, when it comes to opening the trunk, there is a button on the key fob if you wanted to do that. There is also a button by the driver's side left knee, and there is a button on the trunk itself as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 15.1 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra storage there if you needed it. Also wanted to mention there is an underfloor storage tray back in that cargo area as well, which is kind of convenient. But now let's go ahead and make our way up to the rear legroom, which is kind of impressive actually, 39.5 inches. So for reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. Essentially plenty of room for me. Also wanted to mention, to spoil the rear passengers a little bit, for the limited trim level and up, you will find heated rear seats. You usually don't get that on that many trim levels of different vehicles. Even luxury vehicles don't always offer heated rear seats. So I love that Subaru put it on several trim levels of the Legacy. That's pretty darn cool. Dual rear USB charging ports coming with the premium trim level and up as well. You will also find front seat back map pockets back there for the rear passengers, and rear center armrests with cup holders for them as well. Then make our way up to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seating coming with the base, 10-way power driver seat with power lumbar for the premium trim level and up. Limited is going to add an 8-way power adjustable passenger seat as well. Sport trim level is going to give you a sport cloth upholstery, of course, with some red stitching to go along with that. Limited trim level and up is going to give you full leather seating. Touring XT that we have today, this is going to be Napa leather, which is the very highest quality leather essentially available, which is excellent. Heated front seats coming with the premium trim level and up. You will find ventilated front seats for the Touring XT. And really the kicker though is this seating is ridiculously comfortable. It's the first thing I noticed when I got in this one. This is my third review I'm jumping in today. Even with a luxury vehicle before this, this is the most comfortable seating. It like hugs you in place, and it's so plush. It's so comfortable. Maybe it's because it's Napa leather, I don't know, but it is so comfortable in this seating. I will say that. Absolutely no issues with taking the Legacy on a long road trip, at least in our Touring XT today. The seating is amazing. Anyways, touching on the steering wheel a little bit, it is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. It is leather wrapped for the premium trim level and up, and it will be heated for the XT trim. So by the way, that heated steering wheel is going to be optional for the non-XT Limited if you wanted to go that route as well. Then make our way to the startup. Let me first start by showing you guys the key here. Essentially, all of your buttons are on one side of the key. Got lock, unlock, the button to pop the rear hatch. The unlock button is actually the Subaru logo in the middle, in case anybody was curious about that. But it is all keyless entry with the push button start if you go with the sport trim level and up. Even the premium, it's going to be optional on that, but sport trim level and up is going to give you keyless entry. So all I am going to do is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button, which is located just by the driver's right knee there. And so, but then once started up, those gauges will do a full sweep. Tachometer is all the way to your left, speedometer all the way to your right, and there is a small digital display front and center, which can be controlled by using the steering wheel mounted controls kind of hidden behind on the left side there, giving you things like your outside temperature. There is actually a digital speedometer you can display up there as well. There is a compass, tire pressure information, miles per gallon at any given time if you wanted to, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, and the list goes on. So really quite a bit going on within that small digital portion of the gauges there. But now let's make our way to overall interior quality, because by far this is my favorite part about this particular Legacy that we are in today. Power moonroof coming with the XT trim levels. This is going to be optional for the non-XT trims, minus the base trim level. You can't get it on that one, but definitely very nice there. Overhead sunglass holder coming standard on all trim levels. Dual zone climate control for the premium trim level and up. And there are some things that it's missing, like for instance, there's no ambient lighting, there's no wireless phone charger, but having said that, the finishes of this Legacy is absolutely, it's almost second to none. I didn't even think I was in a Legacy when I first jumped in this one. First thing that I absolutely loved is the saddle brown and black contrast interior. It's absolutely wonderful. I like the lighter colored leather stitching within that saddle brown color as well. You also have a little bit of rubberized storage just above the passenger side glove box. I don't want to forget to mention that. That's pretty cool. You don't always see that, but everything is stitched. Everything is a very soft leather, including the places where you rest your elbows when you have your hands on the steering wheel. Both sides, both the left and the right elbow, it's extremely soft. A lot of times it's a lot harder material that you're resting your elbows on, but I believe these are the softest elbow rest, I guess you could say, when you're driving I've ever come across. It's absolutely amazing. This Nappa leather interior is brilliant. It's even around the shifter as well. It's just absolutely everywhere. But just in front of the shifter, you have 2 USB charging ports, an auxiliary port, a little bit of storage there. Lecture mechanical parking brake as well. You got your dual cup holders behind the shifter and a little bit of storage within that center armrest as well. And by the way, it looks like there is a CD player freaking within the center armrest. How cool is that? 12-volt power outlets in there as well, a little bit of storage, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You got a CD player, old school, man, gotta love it. Anyways, also you do have an auto dimming rear view mirror with a compass in the upper right hand corner and home link controls for up to 3 different garage doors as well. Don't want to forget to mention all of that. Anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the tech display. It is going to differ slightly dependent upon the trim level. For example, if you go with that base trim, you will get a 7-inch color touchscreen display, which is actually still pretty good. But if you go with the premium trim level and up, it's absolutely amazing. It comes with an 11.6-inch color touchscreen display. It's huge. It looks so cool. It's kind of Tesla-like, I guess you could say. But Bluetooth and audio streaming coming standard either way. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, again, coming standard either way. So therefore, if you have a smartphone, just hook it up to the Legacy via USB cable and you have free navigation displayed up on either screen that you go with. That's pretty cool, as well as the ability to select your Pandora songs. And there's a couple other compatible apps as well. Factory navigation system coming with the XT trims. It's going to be optional on the non-XT trims if you go with the 11.6-inch screen at least. You can, of course, check out some of your car statistics up there as well. There's also your climate control settings up on that infotainment screen as well, and your heated seat button. So really everything is up on that infotainment screen. You do get used to it very quickly, in case that is somewhat intimidating for some people. It's very easy to use, I will say that. You'll get used to it. But also you can check out your radio settings up there as expected. And by the way, when it comes to the sound systems, there are several of them dependent upon the trim level that you go with. 4 speakers for the bass, 6 speakers for the premium and the sport. Then if you were to go with the limited or either of the XT trim levels, you will get a 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system with a subwoofer and an external amp. So having said that, we do have that one today, the Harman Kardon one. So let's go ahead and turn the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That Harman Kardon system was on point. That was wonderful. Excellent amount of bass, excellent amount of clarity, ton of loudness. That was really, 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 really good. Not the very best I've ever heard with all my reviews I've done, but still, that was an amazing sound system, especially for the Legacy. So, well done, Subaru, having Harman Kardon set you up with that. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that tech display, at least, is when you do put the Legacy in reverse, you of course will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Also, a 180-degree front view monitor is going to come with the Touring XT then as well. But as always, that is going to lead us into safety. And so first thing I wanted to mention when it comes to the Legacy, this is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS. So that pretty much says it all right there, quite honestly. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver and front passenger seat cushion airbags as well. In addition to that, a driver's knee airbag. Some of that stuff doesn't always come standard, so that's pretty cool. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also standard for every single trim level across the board. Subaru EyeSight. And so what that package essentially includes is adaptive cruise control, pre-collision braking system, lane departure and sway warning, lane keep assist, high beam assist, then as well. That is a ton of standard safety, even for the base trim level. Gotta love that. Then if you were to go with the limited trim level and up, that is going to add, in addition to that, blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert and reverse automatic braking, which is wonderful as well. So all in all, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Legacy, quite honestly, it surprised me from the second I sat in this thing, not only because of the seat comfort, which is quite amazing. Really, Lexus F Sport seats are always my favorite, but this comes dang close to them. This is really comfortable seating, not to mention the interior quality and the saddle brown leather that we have in this one. It's absolutely amazing. Like the turbocharged engine that we have here as well, it is plenty of get up and go. It's a ridiculous acceleration for a Legacy, I will say that. Of course, you got Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive system, so you're not going to get stuck in the snow. That's always always a good thing when you got so much of it around us right now, so that's definitely a good thing. 11.6-inch infotainment screen is wonderful up there as well. As far as room for improvement goes, ambient lighting would be pretty cool. Wireless phone charger would also be pretty nice. And when it comes to the exterior design, it's just kind of meh. It's been around for quite a while. I'd say it's time for Subaru to give the Legacy an old refresh or a complete overhaul when it comes to exterior design, at least. Interior, honestly, I probably wouldn't change a thing besides a digital gauge cluster. I would add that, actually. That would definitely bring it up to a different level as well. So overall, those are my final thoughts here of the Legacy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the Legacy in the comments section below. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen there if you want to see what's coming next on the channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.